Welcome back. It is Monday, June 5th, and the MLB Our three favorite picks are on the way. I'm Austin, joined by Logan. Let's recap yesterday. A 2-2 day, losing a little bit of juice. We had Matt McLean and Lane Thomas get a hit parlay. They get it done. The Athletics Marlins. Nerfy was arguably the sweatiest, the least sweat one we've had all season long. Then Steer and Blackman didn't get done. Blackman didn't even play. And Mariners plus a half wasn't even close. But either way, it's a 2-2 day, losing a little bit of juice. Not much you can do there. It's the start of a new week. Let's get back into the winning column. Now, Logan, I see you're going to change the scenery. Hopefully, maybe that changes up your picks. You've been, it feels like a day early on your last couple picks, but I'm confident you're going to get back dialed in. People were praising you just a couple weeks ago, and now you've lost a couple in a row. You're getting absolutely attacked, but I I believe in you. What you got for the people today?
Yeah, you mentioned that I've been a day early. Like it's tragic how the A's scored 5 runs yesterday after scoring 1 run. The Phillies leave two. They score a million runs on the Nationals a day after I picked an over in their game. That's just sometimes how baseball works, right? And you can't get down on yourself for being on a cold streak because hot and cold. That's just how gambling is. That's especially how baseball is. So you can tail fade, do whatever you want with my pick today. I don't really care, but I definitely think this is going to be a better week for me. I'm due a bounce back. So I'm going to the Cardinals versus Rangers game, and I'm going to test if I'm a game early. I'm taking the Cardinals on the money line, plus 118 odds on Caesars is currently your best value. Yes, Logan, you just picked against the Rangers yesterday. You were so wrong. You were wrong in every form and fashion. I know, and I was kind of shocked at that outcome. I was like, thanks for showing up, Mariners. Right after obliterating the Mariners and making me look really stupid this weekend, the Rangers find themselves as only minus 120 favorites against Adam Wainwright in a 6 ERA. Tell me how that makes sense, right? If this isn't a public trap, then I'm really struggling to see lines right now because this one, the minus 120 money line is the trappiest odds for a home money line you can really ever find. They a lot of the times just don't hit because the books just, that's where they get the squares. And Martin Perez is starting for the Rangers today, and he's actually a pitcher I think could easily get shelled in this one. 4.43 ERA, 1.54 WHIP. The whip is definitely dangerous there, but you look at Martin Perez on the year, 40% hard hit percentage. St. Louis, second best in hard hit percentage as a team, so they can make you pay with those extra base hits. Yesterday, they just absolutely laid a dump on people's heads. Everyone that took them minus 150 on the money line against Old Man Rich Hill, no, they can only put up 1 run. So you tell me how many people are going to be on the Redbirds today? Not a whole lot. I've seen ERA though as a deceiving stat. Martin Perez is really struggling in several baseball analytics. This is something I've been diving into a lot more this year, just looking at it, because ERA doesn't tell the full story. You look at Martin Perez, 12th percentile in K percentage, 9th percentile in whiff percentage, 8th percentile in extra expected batting average. That's what XBA means, expected batting average. So you look at all those metrics and you're like, wow, those are really back of the pack stats. Even though St. Louis struggled versus a lefty yesterday, I told you Rich Hill cooked them. They're still as a team sitting at 262 batting average versus lefties this year. They know how to hit lefties. I think they could easily hit Martin Perez today. That's what I expect from the Redbirds offense today. Now, the question, of course, the big question. Adam Wainwright starts for the Cardinals. 6.15 ERA, 1.71 WHIP. Encouraging for Adam Wainwright. Those numbers are not encouraging, but what's encouraging for him, 63rd percentile in hard hit percentage. So at least when he's getting hit, it's just, if he was really back of the pack, I wouldn't have any redeeming qualities for him. But if you look at the pitches Wainwright uses, he uses a sinker, curveball, and cutter. He's not going to test them with the fastball. If Wainwright has the sinker working, which I've seen him have it working before, you get the sink on it, not a sinker that doesn't sink, because a sinker that doesn't sink is a meatball right across the plate. He can get outs via soft contact ground balls. I've seen him before. That's kind of like his career thing. Wainwright in this day and age is a pitch to contact pitcher. He really won't strike anybody out. That's why his K line's at like 3.5. He's just not going to get a lot of swing and miss, but that's okay, right? Now, if you look at Texas as a batting average, they're just a machine right now. 369 in their last 3 games. But I'll tell you right now, breaking news, that's not sustainable for a baseball team. Eventually it will dip, and Texas's team total is only set to 4.5 today. That seems free as air, right? Every square in their mother can wake up and make that bet. Normally, that's just not how baseball works. A lot of these teams are due regression, and you have to be one day early, or you have to be one day ahead of the regression. And I think this is a good spot to target the Cardinals in this one. St. Louis, 15th in bullpen ERA, Texas, 24th in bullpen ERA. I still like the Cardinals bullpen a lot more than the Rangers, and I think there will be run opportunities late for this Cardinals offense. So I am taking the Cardinals on the money line. Let's test the theory to see if I'm a day early once again. But I really do like the Cardinals today, and I like the value we're getting at plus value for the underdog money line. But Austin, hit props. What do you got for us?
Yeah, I mean, I'm honestly, I kind of like the Cardinals pick. I think everyone's going to be loading up Rangers in their parlays, and we've talked about it. Teams get hot at certain times, but teams cool off pretty quickly. So be careful if you're loading up Rangers money line in every single parlay. Riding with the Redbirds. That's for my hit parlay. I'm going to go to a guy we trust and a guy we've never talked about this year, except for a little bit, I think, on Dinger Tuesday, because it's Matt McClain and Kyle Tucker each to record a hit, -104 on DraftKings. As I always say, if you can bet it on DraftKings, definitely do it there. If you're in a non-legal betting state, you can bet this on Sleeper. It should have the ability to bet each of them over 0.5 hits. Sleeper, I think, is the only app that lets you do that for daily fantasy, that is. Now, in a short slate, not really much you can do for. Not a 15, 16, game slate that we sometimes see, but I still am confident in these two fellas. Now let's talk about McClain, who obviously is a guy we've targeted plenty of times here. He came through yesterday for us, and it's the guy that's going to bat in the second, spot in his lineup typically. So should see plenty of plate appearances, and he's batting 342 on the season, and he's hitting 321 versus right-handed pitchers, and he's going to face a righty today in Julio Teheran. But when you look at the pitcher for the Brewers, you look at his stats and you're seeing a .82 ERA, .82 WHIP. You're like, how are the Brewers in a pick'em against the guy making his first ever start in Abbott for the Reds? So I'm not surprised to see a lot of people on Brewers in a money line pick'em, but I think the Reds are going to get to him today, and here's why. Now, when you look at the pitches that McClain's going to see a lot from the starting pitcher, he's throwing a sinker 53% of the time to right-handed batters. Well, that's perfect, right up our alley, because the sinker is McClain's best pitch to hit, which he has a .571 batting average on. You look at the other pitches he likely sees, slider and a four-seam fastball, both hitting above 300. We know McClain's been really consistent, but also something I do like about McClain is there is going to be a chance where maybe McClain gets weak contact and it's the dribbler to the third baseman or a shortstop. McClain, very fast guy. He can go out there and beat those ground balls, get infield singles, which is I love to take if maybe a guy's not seeing the ball well, but maybe he has a 50-50 chance of getting that. I like to take a guy that's fast. So give me Matt McClain to get a hit. Now, the other side is going to be Kyle Tucker. Now, you look at Tucker, I was trying to decide which Astro I wanted to back today because you're sitting at a game at a 10.5 total, and I certainly think he's going to get the plate appearances, but I like Tucker in this spot. Now, you look at Kyle Tucker, he obviously normally bats about the 5 spot for the Astros, and he's batting 276 on the season, 417 in June. That's a small sample size, and 290 on the road. So he's hit well away from Houston. He's also hit well just in general on the season, and today's going to get a lot of plate appearances, probably up against Alek Manoah, and then once Manoah's out, probably against that Blue Jays bullpen, which has been, kind of below average this season. Now, the only concern here about Mr. Manoah is that man is walking a ton of guys. In fact, he has 41 walks and 57 and 2/3 innings pitched. He's really struggling this year. We know Manoah from last year. He was like one of their best pitchers, arguably their best. This year has really not been great, but that's not bad for us. We just can't afford a couple walks here, but he's allowing a 273 batting average versus lefties. And look, Tucker's a guy that went 0 for yesterday. I like to target those guys that went 0 for 4, especially a very talented hitter like Tucker is. And you look at Tucker, what are the pitches he's going to see from Manoah? A lot of sinker, slider, and four-seam fastball. Well, those are all really good pitches that Tucker has hit this well this season. The only one that he hasn't necessarily too well, a 212 batting average, is against the slider, but Manoah does not throw the slider a whole lot to lefties, only like 15% of the time, whereas he goes up on the other pitches, the sinker and the four-seamer. So, look, Tucker, 92nd percentile in expected batting average. He's hitting the ball well. I certainly think he sees, 4, maybe 5 plate appearances, depending on how the rest of the Astros offense is performing. I think he can easily get us one hit, spray one into the outfield to get it done. So, Matt McClain and Kyle Tucker each to get a hit. I'll take my chances here. -104, almost at that +100 that I normally seek for. I think we got a good chance here. So go get it done, fellas. We'll start at 7 p.m. Eastern. But Logan, you know what time it is. The music's starting. It's Derpy Nation time, baby. Hey, we've been quietly on a good run. Now we've hit 4 of our last 5. Let's see if we can hit 5 of our last 6. I'm pretty confident in the one we got today. Yesterday, well, like I said, was probably the most sweat-free one we've had all year long. Let's see if we can do it again because we're targeting a similar team. And it's the Royals and Marlins. We're going to the no-run first inning, currently -115 on DraftKings. As the time we recorded this, I didn't necessarily think FanDuel didn't have a line, but they'll probably have one out eventually, so you can tail it there too. But let's talk about why we're on this Nerfy and why we trust these two teams to just go up there, get us 3 outs each, and get us a winner. Now, we're going to talk about Braxton Garrett. He's going to lead it off for the Marlins, and while I don't know you saw what Sandy did yesterday. He carved him up in the first inning and absolutely sold the rest of the game, which is kind of why we like the Nerfy. You could pitch 1 inning good. I think we had a pitch. I forget who was it last year. Logan, maybe you can talk about him. I forget who we had get 3 outs and then gave up like 11 runs in the second inning. Hey, if Braxton Garrett wants to do that, go for it. But look, Garrett 8-2 on no-run first inning. The Royals, Great home offense, unfortunately on the road. They're 23rd in first inning runs on the road. I don't trust a lot of their hitters at the top of the lineup for a left-handed pitcher like Garrett. So they can get us those first 3 outs. Who's on the other side, Logan?
Yeah, it's Carlos Hernandez. He's starting for the Royals. Now, if you're like, who's this guy? Well, he's a bullpen arm. He's not going to probably go very far into this game. He's 2-0 on no-run first innings this year, so small sample size, but he has got the job done. He's facing a Marlins offense. The reason why we target so many Marlins Nerfies is because they just aren't good percentage-wise at scoring in the first inning. They're 29th in first inning runs scored. So at the end of the day, he has a favorable matchup. If you look at the type of pitcher Carlos Hernandez is, he's a bounce-back guy, right? He just allowed 4 earned runs and only 1/3 innings pitched versus Colorado. He had a similar appearance earlier in the season, allowed 5 earned runs, didn't even record a single out, but he bounced back after that one with 1 inning, 0 hits, 0 earned runs versus the Rangers in that one. So the question is, he just had a bad one. Can he bounce back with a good start in this one? I do think so. The over/under set to 8.5 in this one. Right in the range we do like to pick him. And Carlos Hernandez, not normally a guy I ever like or back. If you've bet baseball long enough, you know that guy's kind of a bum. But we're just asking for 3 outs, right? He needs to come in and know his job is just not to sell the game. If he comes in and gets shelled, then that's just a tough outcome. We'll live with it. But on this slate, this definitely is my favorite no-run first inning. Looked for a minute at the Pirates and Athletics. We were just like, could we do that one? But JP Sears and Johan Oviedo have absolutely terrible no-run first inning splits, so we can't touch that one. Nerfy Nation, I like this one a lot. I've sold my soul. In case you haven't noticed, guys, can't hit a game pick, but we're hitting the Nerfies. Yeah, I sold my soul to get some Nerfy wins back on the record. That's just how it be. But let's fly the flags again today.
Yeah, let's get a winner. Let's cash Cardinals money line. And let's ask Mr. McLean and Chalker to get a hit. Let's have a 3-0 day. We're long overdue a sweep. Let's get back to the winning ways. It's the start of a new week. Let's go get it done. You guys have a great Monday. We'll see you guys back on Tuesday with some Dinger Tuesday plays. We'll see you guys then. Peace.